Hello, everyone. I am Andreas, pop culture guy. Today is the latest Andreas pop culture retrospective slash review on Mission Impossible Fallout. Because last month, or July, of course, we got the seven of the two-parters of Denver Mission Impossible 7 and 8. And so I thought it would be great to discuss the last previous movie of the Mission Impossible series, and that was Fallout, which is my number one favorite of all the Mission Impossible films. It's my personal number one in the now. Great action films develop a rhythm like no other song. Think of the way in the stunts in Mad Max Fury Road become a part of the storytelling. Think of how Die Hard flows so smoothly from scene to scene, making us feel like we're right there with John McClane. Or think of the dazzling editing of Baby Driver, Edgar Wright's 2017 film, and the way it incorporates its sound design, music, and action into this seamless fabric that's the toe tap. Now, it's obviously an incredible phrase to say that Mission Impossible Fallout remains, for me, out of all the films in the Mission Impossible series, the greatest action film of all time. So, I don't know, please do time. But anyway, it's got that fine tune, perfect blend of every technical element that takes it to make to the greatest action film of all time, all in service of fantastic script, anchored by great action performances of Tom Hanks. Not Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise. My bad, folks. Tom Cruise, Rebecca Ferguson, Vanessa Kirby, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, and Alec Baldwin, and Angela Bassett as well. And they just work well within the genre, but not transcended too far. But this is one of the best action movies of the generation, as I've been reiterating in the beginning. For the first time in this franchise, director Christopher McQuarrie has made what is basically a direct sequel to the previous film, which hasn't been done yet in the franchise. Mr. Possible Rogue Nation, wasting absolutely no time, Fallout drops the beaters into the narrative, getting the important details out of the way so the action can get started, which is good. So many action movies spend forever with monologue villains, extended setups, but there's no fat on this movie. Even early on, where the action so often takes too long to get to the good stuff, definitely not like when it's intense enough to leave you exhausted. After the maniacal terrorist from the last movie, Sondra Lane of the Syndicate, was apprehended several years ago by the IMF, a new threat has emerged in place of the leader's absence. Its underlings have formed a new terrorist group called the Apostles, a mysterious group of mercenaries hell-bent on continuing their madman commander's footsteps. When a renowned scientist designed a complex set of nuclear bombs are undercover by the IMF team, including Ethan Hunt, Luther, and Benji in the team previously films. Must insert the three Lipitonian spears and intend the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands. When the mission sours, the CIA signs a arrogant agent called August Walker, played by Henry Cavill, to accompany the IMF on their next task of locating the missing radioactive metals. As the group tracks the prize to Connie Arms, the White Widow, first this was played by Vanessa Kirby, and the exclusive assassin John Lark, they engage in a terrorist trace across the globe where a second failure could mean the death of millions. Now, one of the film's greatest strengths is that the sense of the adventure, especially when the stunt work ensures that Tom Cruise features are very much visible for the majority of the shots in the film. He is notably dedicated to performing his own stunts, no other actor has done before. It's incredible and cinematic, which I like. It's well convinced. Throughout the most honest will probably fail to realize just how much effort and pain went into this final product by Cruise and his team. Martial arts fights are intense, while heists are nicely chaotic. One sequence artistically removes old sound and sound effects for a welcome change of pace. That's the dream sequence, where Ethan is thinking about how the capture of someone could go either way. And the productive chasings are never right. The bulk of the second act is little more than a chase that serves into another chase. That's serves into another chase. frankly, changing speeds, occasionally even modes of transportation. That's in Parasite. Sequence. But it's the finale that really steals the show, making one of the best editing and cuts to distract the viewers from the fact that virtually every one of the IMF's text goes down to the freezing of a bomb. And the music is once again outstanding, blasting every sequence with the round amount of her. Now, this score is first, is not, I say, well, the score is scored by Lauren Balfe, and he will continue to this franchise as well. And by the way, he's a good addition to the franchise as well. Anyway, another strength for this movie is it's the first time in fact that director Christopher McQuarrie has made what is basically a direct sequel to the previous film. As I stated before, wasting oh yeah, this wasting absolutely no time for well dropped through internet, I say before, but getting the punk details out of the way and in the action to get started immediately. So many action films do spend time to develop characters, villains, and defense setups. But roughly 7 of the 10 best actions of the year will be from this film. There's wonderful diversity in action styles, 2 from the sky-driven nightmare to a car chase to, of course, a Ron Thompson to a already famous helicopter sequence. All of them feature an intense moment that we can hardly see in any action movies. Critics have already compared the film to Fury Road, which I think is a good comparison. I think why is the fluid of motion that you see in both films. But also, the great team encounter Rob Harvey from an adaptation of the the Alice Garland film from 2018, and editor Eddie Hampton, who did the last movie as well, Rogue Nation, had refined the action here with McCarthy in such a perfect way. He rarely used the geographic of scenes, which is common in bad action films, and often we feel like we're following and spreading our running with Hunt in the right way. The audience I saw that was gasping, nervously laughing with each heart racing sequence, which is true back in 2018. I saw this film. My mom. Yeah, so or my friend. Anyway, see this one with the crowd in a re-release maybe. But it was really good at the IMAX. The Fall isn't the kind of film that often gets pumped for its regard to performance, but even those are better than action. It's fascinating to see how Cruise is finally allowing his age to show a little bit, especially in the early scenes with Cavill, August's character, who looks like a tougher, stronger model of Ethan Hunt. But Cruise's latest version, Hunt stumbles a few times, and his punches don't land with the force of walkers. It instills more reliability in the character, but yeah, who could have been less interesting as a superhuman spy, like James Bond, in this case. And the supporting cast is phenomenally strong and is fantastic. As I mentioned before, this like Cavill and Rebecca Ferguson's Elster Frost coming back from the last film, who has the screen chemistry of someone who really should be this star by now. Let's make that happen, which is great. Overall, I highly recommend the Mission Impossible Fallout. It's a great film. It's one of my personal favorite number one Mission Impossible movie and action film in general. Is that it destroys the system. It truly does what so many people have looked for in entertainment over a century. A chance for real world movies to take a backseat for a couple hours. You'll be too busy worrying how he the hunt is going to get out of this one to care about everything outside of it. It's a rare action movie that can do that so well that you not only escape but walk out kind of invigorated and ready to take on the world again. So, Mission Impossible Fallout is one of those movies, and I highly recommend to see it. Have a good day, everyone.